right? So you're saying that optimization could be your maximization or minimization. So if you're talking about something that you want more, right, like profit. So when you say optimize profit, you're saying maximize profit. Okay. So
Yeah.
maximize to as much as possible. And when you say optimize cost, right? Something that we don't want, it means you are saying minimize as much as possible. Correct? So minimize as much as possible. That's the objective of optimization.
Optimization.
Yes. Okay. So let's see the example that we solved yesterday. So we were helping this Indigo computers to
Yeah.
know how much or how many laptops and desktops to make. Right? It had conditions like first condition was memory chip. Okay. So memory chip, it needed one for notebook or laptop and two for desktop. Okay. And total has to be less than equal to 15,000. Then we spoke about processing chip. Okay, and processing chip both needs one. So you say one laptop plus one number of desktop, and this should be less than equal to 10,000. Then we said about the machine time, correct? Machine time, we said that laptop needs 4 unit or 4 time, and desktop needs 3 times. So ratio of consuming machine time is 4 into 3. And this should be less than equal to 25,000. Okay. So find L and D value. So to find L and D value, you can even say 1, 1, isn't it? 1 L, if L is 1, so 1 into 1 is 1 plus 2, 3. 3 is less than 15,000. Here 2 is less than 10,000. Here 7 is less than 25,000. So even L equal to, L laptop, L equal to 1 and D equal to 1 is also a solution for this. Okay. But the condition is maximize profit. So does another value of laptop desktop exist which will give you maximum profit? Answer is yes. So that's why 1 and 1 is not the optimized solution. Okay, and profit we said that it is 750 for notebook and it is 1,000 for desktop. That's the profit. Okay. Okay. We need to maximize the profit. Okay. To work with it, to input the numbers, we will use NumPy. So I'm going to say NumPy as NP. Okay. Now I need to know, okay, various other functions. So they are all under Scipy dot optimize. Okay. And here you will have, okay, minimize, and linear program. These are the 3 things we need. Constraint, to develop constraint, we need constraint. Okay, so now see here, just like your simplex problem here, okay, we do not have function to perform maximize. We only have function to perform minimize. So how can we use minimize function to find maximize? Did you understand my question?
Yes.
Okay. So the question here is, okay, let's say, okay, so what do we have to do? We have to maximize this 750 plus 1000, right? This is what we need to maximize. Now you see, okay, where do you say maximize a positive number? If you multiply both the side with negative, it becomes minimize. Okay, what is the maximum positive value? Okay, between 1 and 1000, what is the maximum positive value? Tell me. Between 1 and 1000, what is the maximum positive value?
999.
Sorry, 999.
Yes.
Okay, 999.
Yes.
Okay, so this is maximum positive value. If I ask you what is the maximum negative value or smallest value, smallest value is minus 999. You got it? So if you are see, the highest, the value is the highest value on positive side is same as the lowest value on the negative side, right? So if I say that, between 3 or 4 students, let's say you have marks like 100, 50, 75, 30, 45, 35. Whose is the highest marks here?
100.
100, correct? Now, if I multiply this with minus, then 100 becomes lowest.
-100. Yeah.
Lowest. Smaller.
Did you get it? So if you multiply the objective function by minus sign, if you multiply the objective function by minus sign, it becomes exactly opposite. If you want it to be high, now it will be the lowest.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if I have to maximize this, and I don't have maximize option, I only have minimize option. So if I multiply this with minus 750 and minus 1000D, it becomes minimization problem. So remember this. Okay. If you want to make the highest value as the lowest, multiply that with minus 1. Yes or no? So if I
Yes,
have to
sir.
maximize positive value, I will put it minus, and then it's like minimizing the negative value. So, okay, it tells you what is the maximum value, what is the minimum value. Okay, so with that logic, let's build it. Okay, so that's why we have minimize, and we'll be using linear programming, of course. So when we build this objective function, we'll we'll multiply this with minus 1. Okay, so you have L and D, right? Let's assume L and D equal to 1, 1 to begin with. Okay, they are 1, 1. Then what is the profit? Okay, what is the profit? Uh, Total profit. Okay, total profit is objective, right? Which is your profit per laptop into L, okay, plus profit per laptop into number of profit per desktop into number of desktop. Okay, so that's your objective function, right? Now, since we are going to minimize, the objective function becomes minus 750 into L minus 1000 into D. Yes? Okay. So we have to create objective list of objective values. So I'm going to say, okay, so minus objective, right? This is minus objective actually. Now I'm going to say object list equal to, okay, minus 750 correct, and minus 1000. Okay. Now we need to create your numpy, what do you say, values, array values. Okay, so we will say constraint, right? So we call this as left hand side, okay, constraint. Now constraint can be equal to, not equal to, not equal to in the sense greater than or less than. So your constraint can be three types: greater than, less than, or equal to. Okay, so this is what? This is less than, right? All these are less than. So since these are less than, okay, we'll put as inequality sign here. So okay, we'll just write saying that, see, you know, in your program, okay, you can have all three possibilities, right? So your main function, we should be able to handle all, and we'll see how to handle using our program. So I'm going to say LHS underscore inequality. Okay, so you have one row, two row, and three row. One row it is 1, 1, or depends upon what you take first. So if you take 15,000 first, so it is 1, 2, 1, 1, 4, 3. So we'll say 1, 2, 1, 1, 4, 3, right?
With these main function, main equation, and the subjective constants, both the equations, sir.
Main equation what? Sorry.
Like objective function and subjective equations, both. Like
No,
we need to find the objective function, sir.
yeah, no, we have to find L and D value, correct?
Yeah.
So I've taken objective where 750 and 1000.
Yes, sir. 750 into
Minus
L.
and 50 minus 1000.
Yeah. But how we get 1, 2, 1, 1?
1, 2. This is coming from here, no inequality. Yesterday also we built that, right? 1, 2, 1, 1, 4, 3. The left side
Yes,
value.
understood, sir.
Okay. And now we'll take the right side. Okay. So to get the right side, we will say RHS, and that is constant, and this is value. So this is going to be 15,000, 15, 10, 25, 15, 10, 25. So 15, 10, 25. Okay. So this is also done. Now we need to make what is called as bounds. Okay, what is the values? Value boundary, bounds. Okay, this will tell you what should be the value. Okay, so how many values we have? We have 2 values, right? Because each row has 2 columns, so we have 2 values. So what should be the range of value? Let's say your business says that we have to make 500 laptops. There is a customer, old customer, they have already given you order for 5 laptops, let's say. So even though you are, like you have, let's say, you think that making 500 laptops is not profitable for you, still you'll have to do it because that's an old customer. So you have to maintain that relationship. So that's why the bound will tell you how many minimum and maximum can you make. So in this case, I have no such limitation. So I'm going to say I want value to range from 0 to infinity and 0 to infinity. L also 0 to infinity and N, sorry, D desktop also 0 to infinity. So how do you give? You say 0 comma, okay, float, float, float of 0. Okay, float of infinity, isn't it? So 0 to infinity, this is how you write 0 to infinity. Okay, this is your infinity. So here also I'll say 0 to infinity, right? So these are the value. You can say that no, maximum we cannot produce more than 800 laptops. So you can give 800 as maximum. Okay, so you have a choice, okay, based on a business problem. Okay, minimum you have to make this, maximum you can make this. So you can give minimum and maximum values. So other factors will be then considered for, if the values and other things are left, it will consider to develop other values. Okay, but this is how you give the boundary. 0 to infinity, 0 to infinity. Now here, now we have to call the main function. So I'm going to say here, optimization solution equal to linear programming. This is called linear programming. Okay, and you can give C here. This is for objective. So what is our objective? What is our objective?
Minus objects.
Yeah, this one, object list. Okay, next comes upper bound, maximum values. Okay, so upper bound. Okay, if it is equal to, then you will select A equal to EQ. But here it is maximization bound, right? Upper bound. So you'll say AUB. Okay, if you are equal to, they would have selected A equal to. But if it is upper bound, you will say A upper bound. Okay, A upper bound, and then here you will assign value our this thing, the inequality value, right? Which is LHS constraint. Then B upper bound, okay, that is the B side, right side. So here you will put RHS value. B will be your RHS value. Okay. Then you say which method you want to use. So which method? It is revised simplex. Right? So let me run this and see if it is okay so far. Okay, maybe you meant, okay, objective. Did I have objective list I put, right? Okay, here minus is not a good idea. Okay. Left side you cannot put minus. Okay, So this is deprecated. That's why you see strike through. Okay, but it is still there. You can still use it. Okay. So I think this is perfect. Now you can see the total output. Output is your this one. What is this variable here? Optimal solution. Okay, it will give you many information. So see, success equal to true means it has successfully calculated some value. Okay, answer is this is the minus 775 because we gave minus, right? Negative, so you get negative. And this is the value x equal to 1750 here. Okay, makes sense?
Yes.
So this is how you can solve the inequality problem using Scipy.
So for any method, we need to write this pattern only.
Is it any method means?
Like we have mentioned revised simplex also.
This is the method, yes. Because each of this method needs your the objective value, the constraints. That's it needs, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Based on the scenario, we need to change the values.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. The next we'll talk about, okay, what we call as pandas. Okay, so NumPy was metrics. SciPy is scientific Python. It has a lot of functionality.
Expressions. Yeah.
Right. Next is your pandas. Okay, pandas reads and reflect the data as a list here.
Okay.
Okay, and this see when you create a table with row and column, okay, it matches to our pandas structure. Panda will also have row and column. Okay, so that's why when you have to deal with reading data like tables, okay, we use data frame. Okay, so we need to import pandas for that, and we call this as data frame. Okay, data frame means the table like structure, row and column. So I'm going to say import pandas as PD. Okay, now I'm going to create a data equal to, I say PD dot data frame. Okay, now moment when you say PD equal PD dot data frame, it converts into data frame. That's what we want. What do you get output here? Okay, you get any output? No, because data frame though we converted, but we haven't added any value so far.
Yes.
Right, now I can add some value here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Make sense? So it says column 0 and index 0. That is for empty data frame. Now when you run this, you see this? It has added first column, and each of the value is your rows.
Rows.
Okay, so this one has only
Only for rows.
only one column. Okay, if
Okay.
you have to have multiple, okay, now here I want to have, let's say, Okay, so let's say here I say, okay, I'm giving set of values here. $30, $40, $50. Okay. Now with this, I will add one more. Let's say that's roll number and this is Sachin. Okay, this is Lakshman. This is okay. Um, okay, you see this? 10 Sachin. Okay, so this is how you can give values to the rows and columns. But we haven't given values to the column header and row header. Okay, so row header, okay, is called index and column header is called columns. Okay, so if I want to give column names, I will say here, comma, columns equal to, and then you can give it a name. So let's say first I give as say roll number, and second I give as name. Okay, now since we have two values to give, I cannot give two values to a normal values, right? Okay, we have to create something like list only. Whenever you are giving more than one value, it has to be given as a list, tuple, dictionary, or set, right? See, it created this. Okay, you want to give names to this one also. Like by default, when you don't give column names, it will refer it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you do not give a name to the rows, it will refer it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we will give index. We'll give the row value name also. So I'm going to say comma here, and I'll say index equal to. Okay, here you say player 1. Okay, and I will do same thing. Three, oh, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'll say player 1, 2, player 3, player 4, player 5. Okay, now when you run it, okay, see, even row got names. Now you can add names to the rows only when you have very few number of rows. Now if I have 1 million rows, I cannot keep giving 1 million values there. So row name is not that important. Okay, sometimes it may be important. Let's say you are doing this for different months, so you can give month name here as a row, data for January, data for February. But when you are doing data analysis, then we generally don't give names to the index, because index name, okay, you cannot give it for the so many, right? When you do data analysis, your record will be in thousands minimum, right? It can be in lakhs also. So you can't keep giving names to all the rows, right? So we don't give. Of course, columns we need, but rows we don't give. Okay, so this is how, okay, you can do. And you read data from database also in this format. So tomorrow we will just create a program to read data from the database here. Okay, we'll connect to read data from database, and of course we can read from CSV file. So we learn how to read data from CSV file. Okay, we'll read data from CSV file, we'll read data from database, and then after that, we will focus on generating or analyzing data. Okay, so we'll stop here today. Tomorrow, let's connect. We'll see how to read from database and how to read from. Okay, so let's do the reading from CSV today itself. Okay, because reading from CSV should be easy. So I'll just show you how to read from
Sir, reading
CSV.
from CSV already we have done it, I think.
We read that.
Yeah. Like in the PyCharm, I think read.csv,
No, 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 no,
we
no, no, no. We have read it like a text. We have not read it like a table format. We have not read it like a pandas. We have read it like a text, right? When you read a CSV, you read as a CSV. Now I'm going to read it like a row and column format. Okay.
Okay.
So we will read it like a pandas. Yes, you're right. What you said is right. We did that. But there we read it like a text. Okay. So now I'll show you this. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. This is my Git repository. If you go here, okay, you will see repositories here. Okay. There are many repositories. Focus on two. You have data set and you have machine learning. Okay. So these two data set will have all the,
Screen not visible.
sorry.
Screen not visible, sir.
Oh, I think I have paused it. Now it should be visible. So see this data set and machine learning. Okay, so these have the data set that we will need for our analysis. Okay, so let's say we go to this data set here. Okay, okay, so these are some of the data set. Now I go and click on, let's say, CSV. Okay, mall customers. Okay, you see these small customers. Okay, so it shows you data set with 5 columns, right? And these are the values that is there here. Okay, now to read this, okay, I need to go to the okay, we call it the raw version, because if you try to read this, all this content will also be read. Okay, so that's not the right thing. Here you see raw version, you click on raw. When you click on raw, it will create a simple raw version of the CSV file. It can take some time. All this extra information will go away. Okay. Sometimes it may not work also. Okay. Then when this is not ready, the GitHub may not be ready. Okay. So that's what you do is you download this data set on your machine. So it is GitHub problem. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So better you download all the data set and run it from your local machine. Okay, let's see if I'm able to read this. Okay, so
Yeah.
copy this link and then go to your this
Right.
here. Yeah, and you say here p dot read CSV and you give the link here.
Okay.
Okay, and I will save that in a data set 1, something like this. Okay, now when you go and print data set 1, and in case if our program is able to read it, it can read the raw version, okay, from directly. Okay, so if the link is, I mean, if the GitHub is active, you will get the data set. If it is not, you'll get error. So that way I will show you how to read from local machine.
Okay, like that data which we have seen, it's showing
Yes.
here when the link is
No,
working.
no, it's not showing you. If the link is active, it will show here.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
yeah, it failed. Okay, so
Yeah.
GitHub is not ready.
So
So
can
what
I do
I'll
in the
do,
collab also?
yeah, you can do anywhere. So what I'll do is I'll show you on my local machine what happened. So you go to this D and data sets, okay? Okay, so these are the data set, but this is not, okay? Are these CSV? These are Excel data set. Oh, comma separated, CSV values only. So you can see what are there in these, okay? So I'm going to say, okay, D data set slash, okay, use double slash here, okay, or ulta slash, okay, D, and it should tell you it's not, okay. So let's say ongc.csv. So I'll say ongc.csv. Now you read and run. So see, this is the data set it has read. And it has read like your table and column format. So first column was date. This is a stock price, okay? Stock price for last 1 year. So date, open, high, okay, close, volume symbol. Okay, so see it has read like exactly the way you have in Excel. So if I go here, I can show you, okay? ONGC. You can read Excel file also using pandas, okay? I wanted to show you CSV file. See, this is the data set actually. So it has read it. After reading it, you can manipulate using pandas functionalities. It is easy to work with pandas than with the text. Okay, that's why we use pandas. Okay, it's easy to work with pandas than text. So it has read it, and that's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll read the data set and we'll perform some actions on this. Okay, so you'll be able to read any CSV file using read CSV here. All right.
Yes.
Shall we stop here for now?